Hello viewers, today for the initial checkout we have a set of telephones. It's been a long time since I've recorded any films like this, but now I've gotten a lot of the projects around the house taken care of, we can start to get back to the traditional style videos like this. This is a set of telephones I actually picked up locally at the local Goodwill. This is one of the first telephones I bought after I had moved in. I've been here for a little while. I always used to say I don't usually buy phones this new, and now it's crazy to think that these telephones are getting to be 10, 12 years old. I remember when the 6 Plus stuff came out in the 2010s. Yeah, I think it was around the 2010s. So it came in this camera case, which is actually a really nice camera case. It's in good shape, it's clean. It's got an adjustable thing there, so I'm definitely going to keep that camera case so I get some good use out of that case for sure. But now on to the telephones. So these look like they were taken care of for most of the time they were used. They were packed up pretty nice to be donated. These are the Panasonic KX-TG6521 R. And they are kind of an unusual color. It's like a, I think it was called the champagne color maybe? I don't really remember. There was something, I don't know, for some reason I feel like it was called the champagne red or something. I don't know, maybe I'm just totally remembering it correctly. But the handset is also a different color. You can see the belt clip is black, and then the handset is whatever that color is. Let's get these things plugged in here. I can't remember if these came with batteries or not. I actually think that they came with the batteries removed, which is also kind of unusual. Rearrange the plugs here so that they all fit. Plug in the base. Plug in this power cord, or the data cord. That's all messed up here. Here it is. Cradle plugged in. Turn the power on. Okay, that appears to have initialized and is ready to operate. Phone line plug in. And here we go. Okay. I've got some batteries. These are charged up. So we'll use these for the video. Messages full. Oh boy. I guess I'll go ahead and record those messages. I'll put those into a separate video. I like to record them because sometimes there's something funny in there. The messages were kind of funny. Most of them were at the same person calling and saying the same thing, and then the other half of them was just scams. Now this is saying use rechargeable battery. I am using a rechargeable battery. I'm using 2 rechargeable batteries. See right there, rechargeable, rechargeable. So that's cap. I'm using a rechargeable battery. And it doesn't really matter, it'll work the same, but let's see if I can get that error to clear out for the video. Alright, no, it's still not working. Alright, well whatever, it'll work just fine for the video. I charged up the batteries because they're rechargeable before the taping, so they got enough charge. So first off, let's erase all these messages.
To erase all messages, press erase again. No message.
I like this voice. This voice and the old AT&T voice from the 90s. Or like the 2000s era. There's just something about the way it talks. It's so powerful, and it just like commands what it's saying, but at the same time it's totally pleasant. Alright, let's go ahead and call these telephones, see what the ring sound like. Some anomalies being heard here. This telephone is really acting up here with these rechargeable batteries. I thought this would work fine, but apparently it's not. Maybe the batteries are spoiled, I don't know. Oh, alright, that's enough. Well, since this is apparently going to be a problem, maybe I'll try changing these batteries. I'll swap the batteries around and see if it's just the handset or the batteries is screwed up. Hopefully it's just the battery. These are old batteries. I should probably get some new rechargeable batteries. More money to spend. Okay, so it definitely is the battery. So I guess those batteries are not any good anymore. So, okay, well, whatever. Oh dear, these batteries really are screwed up. I'm gonna go ahead and get a different set of batteries. I think I charged up 6, so I should have 2 more upstairs. Okay, I got 2 different batteries. Let's see if these are going to yield better results. It seems like they're going to. Okay, good. This appears to be working.
Hello, we're not available now. Please leave your name and phone number after the beep. We will return your call.
Well, it's not working quite right, but I guess these batteries are just not, they're not any good. These phones bring back a lot of memories of when I was in high school. These come out I was just about to graduate when these come out. I got a set when they were brand new, and I used to use the alarm clock. Oddly enough, the base has the old ring and the old voice, but yet the handsets have the new ring and the newer voice. I can't imagine people actually look through this through the menu. People just get it on the Google now. See if there's any phone book entries in here. There's one entry. Nancy's in there. Let's delete that. And let's see, caller ID. The last calls were from February 27, which probably was just a couple months, or no, that was right around the time where I picked these up, probably in March or April. So these were likely up in service until they was donated. You just get at least 1 or 2 calls every day. Mostly from the same 2 people. Probably the same person that was leaving the messages. Okay, let's see what the ring sounds like. Kind of distorted. I'm not sure if that's because there's something loose or because of the batteries. Could just be the batteries. Let's see here. If we lower the volume, it might stop distorting so much if it's the battery. Yeah, I think it was just the batteries is not good. It's still a little flaky. I remember these ringers so well. This brings back a lot of memories from when I was in high school. Only 50 entries? That's not very much. Nine groups, but only 50 entries. Ain't that something? Alright, let's call this answer machine.
Call from a humid evening.
So it sounded like the bass ringer was not really on. And I don't know if you can turn off the call screening, the call screen on the bass or not. It's off, but I think that it's stuck on the bass. I don't believe there's any way to shut it off. No, I think it's on. You have to just lower the volume, I guess, on the bass. If you didn't want the that's kind of dumb.
Record ringing after the beep.
Hello, this is a dehumidifier. It's very humid this week. Record a message or we're not going to call you back. Over.
Hello, this is a dehumidifier. It's very humid this week. Record a message or we're not going to call you back. Over.
Okay, let's see. It's probably crummy quality. So I'll turn it all the way down. Let's see if that turns it off.
Call from a humid evening.
Hello, this is a dehumidifier. It's very humid this week. Record a message or we're not going to call you back. Over.
It's still call screening on the bass, so I guess I just don't know how to turn it off. Or maybe there is no way to turn it off. The greeting quality wasn't too bad on the outgoing message when played through the telephone. It seems to be of lesser quality when played back on the preview through the handset. I have noticed, and I'm not sure why this is, but I've noticed that playing back the messages from another telephone, like if you call into remote access, usually results in clearer message quality, which is kind of peculiar. Alright, let's go ahead and play back these messages.
New message. Don't tell me what to do.
Saturday, 4:25 p.m.
It's still call screening on the bass, so I guess I just don't know how to turn it off. Or maybe there is no way to turn it off. The greeting quality wasn't too bad on the outgoing message when played through the telephone. It seems to be of lesser quality when played back on the preview through the handset. I have noticed, I'm not sure why this is, but I've noticed that playing back the messages from the telephone, like if you call into remote access, usually results in clearer message quality, which is kind of peculiar.
Saturday, 4:27 p.m. End of final message.
Pretty abysmal quality.
All message played back.
Don't tell me what to do.
Saturday, 4:25 p.m.
It's still call screening on the bass, so I guess I just don't know how to turn it off. Or maybe there is no way to turn it off.
Sounds a little bit clearer through the handset than through the bass. They must use really cheap speakers in the bass or something.
No new message. To erase all messages, press erase again. No message.
Okay. Let's go over to the mains and we'll make an outgoing call.
Reminding you, we are closed every Sunday afternoon for strawberries, so our staff can be with their families. The winery is open, 606 Walnut Tree Hill Road, and it's open this afternoon till 6, and no reservations needed. Now, listen carefully. We're entering the late strawberry season. We do expect to be early July. Check daily for hours. Depends on the weather and ripening. So for this week, we will be closed on Monday, tomorrow, June the 26th, for ripening. Expect to be picking mornings, Tuesday through Friday, from 9 till 1.
Okay, that appears to be working properly. Switch over to this handset now.
Patients are encouraged to go to the Book Now button.
That's working.
On the web. Winery.
And that's working as well. I have always found the speakerphone on these to be a bit crackly at full volume. And I don't know why, it's just the way it is. I remember it being like that even when these were brand new when I got my new set back in the day. Alright, now that we know the incoming audio is working properly, I will go ahead and record some testing messages from the telephones.
4 new messages and 5 old messages. Message 1.
This is the test of the first handset. It's on talk. I recall correctly, the pickup on these was usually pretty good. Now it's on the speakerphone, speaking at about the same volume and distance as I was before while it was on talk, so that gives us a good comparison of the pickup volume. I want to put it down on the table now. It's about 1.5 feet away from me. I'm speaking at a pretty standard conversation volume. I'm going to start moving away from the telephone now, and because the studio is not filthy, because I kind of cleaned it up, I can actually move a good distance away from the telephone. This is about 2 feet away from the telephone, 3 feet away from the telephone, 4 feet away from the telephone. And if it's still picking up good here, which I suspect it will be, then I would say this is a pretty decent speakerphone. Okay, we'll keep going back. This is about 5 feet from the telephone, 6 feet away from the telephone, 7 feet away from the telephone, 8 feet away from the telephone, 9 feet away from the telephone, 10 feet away from the telephone, 11 feet away from the telephone, 12 feet away from the telephone, 13 feet away from the telephone, 14 feet away from the telephone, and this is about 15 feet away from the telephone. I don't see a reason to test it any further than that, because you wouldn't use it any further than that because you wouldn't be able to hear it. Okay, I'm going to hang up using the button.
Message 2.
Snout test 1, 2, 3.
Message 3.
Here we go with the third and final testing message with these telephones. This time I'm going to take the telephone outside and we're going to see how far away the range is. Going up the stairs now, I'm upstairs. I'm going to come into the bedroom and I'm going to turn on some of the outdoor lights, and then I'm going to go out the back and I'll walk around the side yard and I'll go out to the mailbox and I'll go a little beyond the mailbox, and that's probably about as far as it'll go. The telephone base is in the far corner of the house, so during this test it's transmitting through the entire house, and then plus the yard and a couple of trees in the front and so forth. So I think if it works out to the mailbox from the opposing corner of the house, that's a pretty decent distance. I think in a normal use case, typical use case, that's as far as most people would really ever use it, because at the old location, I used to want the phones to go very far, much further than a typical use case would be. We're talking hundreds and hundreds of feet, but the reality is most people never take the telephone probably more than 50 feet away from the base. At this point in time, people are going to talk on a telephone outside, then they're probably just going to, oh dear, I just noticed that something else got broken. Oh my, this is terrible. One of the lights that I have under the deck got broken. I had the gutters started leaking, right, and it was coming off the house and so forth, and so I hired somebody to come out here to replace them, because I just don't like working on ladders and the roof and so forth. And the problem is, they did a pretty terrible job. They did, actually the light I think is the only thing that they broke. They left some marks on the siding where they had the ladder, and the telephone's already in boost. I just got to the corner of the driveway, so now it's going through the whole house. What I was saying was they didn't break much, but I guess they broke that light, and so they're going to have to pay for the light. And then they did a sloppy job. There's screws all over the yard and metal shrapnel shavings, and the gutters are kind of crooked, and it's just, oh my gosh, it's stressing me out so much. I don't know why. Usually I don't get worked up over stuff like this, but for some reason this is just really stressing me out. So I got to call them tomorrow and see. They're going to have to come back and fix it, because it's abysmal. It's really expensive, and it's abysmal work. That's one reason why I never hire nobody to do anything. I do it all myself, because I do good work, and I'll do it correctly the first time. So I should have just done it myself. Lesson I already knew, relearned. Okay, I'm at the mailbox. No. I just passed the mailbox and see if there's any mail. Nope, there's no mail. I'm going to keep going to the neighbor's mailbox because they're away this week. And
Message 4.
the stupid message machine cut me off. I was saying was the neighbors was away for the weekend. I think they're coming back in a day or two, so they asked me to bring in the mail for them. So I'm going to check this mailbox and see if there's anything there. Now, I just had to call back, and so I heard the audio a little bit, and it seemed like depending on how I have the phone, it was starting to clip out. So let's see, this mailbox is also empty. Okay, so now the telephone is going to have my head in between the base and the telephone, and I can hear some clicks and pops, so I think it probably is not getting a very good reception anymore. I'm going back to the house. It's very humid today, and it's been humid for the last couple of days. Seeing a couple of fireflies or lightning bugs starting to show up in a couple of the yards. I remember when I first moved in this summer, or last summer rather, there was hundreds of the lightning bugs. And I haven't seen them as much. I imagine it's just because it hasn't been warm. They usually come out on the humid, the warm, humid days. So, anyways, stupid utter fiasco. I'm looking at it right now. What a fiasco. They did all sorts of weird connections, and some of it's crooked, and the angles aren't good, and it's just not a $6,000 job. It's maybe $600 job. Outrageous price. Should have been gold-plated gutters at that rate. I mean, all the materials is going up and everything, but that's flipping ridiculous. Anyways, there goes that stupid train again. It's always honking. Come back in the house now. It should be, it's still saying it's in boost. I don't know, it shouldn't be in boost at this one. I'm not far from the base. You know, I think it's actually hard to breathe out here. It's so humid. I think the range tests that I do in my environment are probably a little bit not accurate in a lot of use cases because I have so many telephones plugged in here. There's a lot more hashing in the air than there usually would be. I'm back in the house. I'm upstairs. It says boost still. I would think it should be going on boost any soon. Still on boost. Walking down the stairs now to go back into the studio. And it's still on boost, even though there's just this bunch of junk and a wall between us. Still on boost. Still on boost. And I'm entering into the studio now and it just switched to echo. Maybe it don't have anything between echo and boost. I remember the ones I had, there was something between the two. It was just like regular mode. It had echo, regular, and then boost. Maybe they just don't have regular. I don't know. Whatever. I'm done recording these messages now. I'm going to hang up.
End of messages.
The testing messages sounded the way they're supposed to, so it looks like the telephone is working properly on both transmit and receive. In fact, in those testing messages you could hear that stupid garage air conditioner running. That thing is so loud, but it hasn't been turned off in probably a week or two because it's so wet. Anyways, looks like this telephone's working good. The signal was pretty good outside. It actually went further than I was expecting, because even though it's not a lot of distance, it's going through solid ground, quite a bit of it, because the studio here is below ground in the front of the house. So it's going through a lot of just solid earth to get to where the mailbox is. So for it to even go that far, even though it's not a big yard, I think it's kind of impressive. So overall, I think these are good telephones. The speakerphone audio incoming could be better, could be clearer. It's a little crackly on the loudest volume setting, but otherwise the audio is clear. The pickup is good. The buttons have good font on them. The screen is easy to read, and the range is good. It's a nice set of telephones.